All righty, good afternoon. I'm so excited. We have a wonderful new person today. I'm so excited. I'm Amber Webb Maxio with RAD Networking Group, and today this is Tony Thornhill. He's the owner of Higher Calling, a fundraising auctioneer, a sponsorship creation specialist. You also held a leadership roles with association president, chapter president, and team leader with 15 years of experience as a fundraising auctioneer and an event consultant. You've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. I'm excited to dig into our story today. And I've seen you live at a gala. That was a lot of fun. So I know I've seen you live in action. I know what you can do. So today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about events, fundraising, sponsorships, and what makes all that wonderful. Okay. But first, do you want to tell me a little bit about your background, a little bit about yourself, how you got into it, or maybe why you started your book? He has a book coming out too. So this is part of the.
Um, sure. Thank you for having me on today. I grew up in an auction family, and when I did, I was the low guy on the totem pole. I was the gopher. Go for this and go for that. And then after several years, I left to go to the military, then come back, stayed in the business, kept going. And then after several years, I decided that it was time for me to step out and do my own. Well, when I did, one of the passions that I had found is that I loved working with fundraising. My background, my personality, my ability on stage kind of just blended into that um, space. So I took a leap of faith and said, okay, I'm going to start a business where I'm only going to be a fundraising auctioneer. Keyword only, because as we know, times change. For 15 years, that's all I did was fundraising auctioneers, along with other jobs. But when it was in the auction space, I was only a fundraising auctioneer. And then COVID hit, and one phone call cost us several events, and we decided to move in. So now we do everything. But it was in those 15 years that working with clients that I started realizing that one of my specialties was being able to create sponsorships that were different than the norm. And after several years of clients saying, man, this is awesome, you should tell more people about it, I finally broke down it and sat down and wrote the book. It's actually getting ready to go to publisher. And now we're still doing all the auctions, but we specialize in the fundraising sponsorship creation spot site for the events, different types of events. I found out that it's not just galas that need sponsorships, it's everybody. So that's a little bit of background.
Oh, fantastic. And I know that you have come and spoken at RAD before. So one of the things I remember you say, there's a difference between fundraising and was it charities or
There is. There's
sponsorship?
always
There's
a
a difference,
there
right?
is a difference. So if somebody says they're a charity auctioneer, that means they work for free. The only time that a charity should ever be free is when everybody in the building's free. So somebody in your community has a bad situation and everybody comes in. The food's donated, the building's donated, everything's donated. That's a charity. When you're actually fundraising, when you have an organization, if somebody gets paid, whether it be the vendor, the venue, the executive director, the you name it, anybody in there gets paid, then you're fundraising. And there's a difference between the crowds that come to those. So you need
Yes.
somebody that understands that change.
So fundraising, but like, okay, so when I think of fundraising, I'm thinking of like a non-for-profit, but still somebody's getting paid. That's what you just said. Somebody's still getting paid in a non-for-profit. They're just not there to try to pocket the money,
Just because it says not for profit doesn't mean they're non for profit. They have to make some sort of profit to pay for the staff.
right?
There are some out here that are quote unquote nonprofit where everybody's volunteer, but you still have to make money to fulfill your mission, to
Yes.
pay your employees,
Yes.
and to get your marketing out there. So, regardless of the nonprofit status, they're in it for profit somewhere.
Right, because if they don't make any money, they can't go and do their mission, whatever that may be.
Right, exactly.
I so starting a business is fun, but I think it's even harder, in my opinion, to start a non-for-profit or a charity. Like, oh, I'm gonna go on this mission. I feel like entrepreneurs. Oh, I don't know how to be a business owner. Oh, I know. I want to give back to the community, so I'm gonna start a non for profit, which I don't think you should do. For one, there's lots of nonprofits out there. There's lots of charities out there. Just join one that already exists. Also, when you start a business and you have a mission behind it, you have purpose behind it, it might be easier than trying to constantly try to be getting money from people. You know what I mean? So you work with you've seen business owners. So like, have you seen anybody you're like, oh, I'll just start a nonprofit would actually it might be better for them to start an actual business because then they could support the nonprofit?
So that's a two-part question. Uh,
It's
Business owners tend to get ahead of themselves to fall behind themselves. And what I mean by that is they, just like you said, they think, oh, it's going to be great to help the community. It's going to be great to do this. Oh, it's going to be great to do that. And I have a passion, but it doesn't align with my business. So I'm going to do something different, a nonprofit. What they really should be focusing on, and this is where the sponsorship creation comes in, is understanding from the nonprofit side, you need to be able to make that business feel like they're helping the community. Not everybody is designed to start a nonprofit. And
right.
more people can do the more people can do help with nonprofits just by doing donations, just by being a sponsor, just by other things that don't
Like
have to run a
volunteering.
nonprofit.
If you don't have money,
Voluntary
you
time,
volunteer,
right. And even if you do have money, you volunteer,
right? Yeah, you do
right?
both
So,
because that's just as valuable. Your time and funds and resources and whatever, those are all worth it to you. So I don't
right,
know. If I were to tell anybody like who wanted to start a business or start a charity, I don't know that I think I would steer them away from starting a nonprofit or a charity. I might be inclined like I don't know, it's a lot harder.
right.
You might not feel the same way, but that's how I feel. Like if you met somebody new and they're like, "Well, should I start a business or should I start a charity?" Would you tell them to start a charity or nonprofit, whatever? I
The
would not.
first question I'm gonna ask if they come to me and say that is, what's your timeline? Because most people don't realize it takes 2 to 3 years to get a nonprofit because of the legal backgrounds, the things that you have to file, the whatever. Whereas with business, typically, depending on the type of business, typically you can be in business in 2 weeks. You could
Right?
be up and running, business cards and providing service. So for me, it's always going to be do your business first and then find your nonprofit later.
That's a good point. I love that. Yeah, you could do your business a lot faster, start it, unless you need a brick and mortar. Yep,
Even
that's a
then,
good point.
even then, I can find a place to do brick and mortar way faster than I can get the paperwork done to jump through hoops of the government to be a nonprofit.
Yes, no kidding. So that's a fair point. If anybody says, "Well, I'm thinking about it," because I've talked to somebody before and I was like, "Oh, just start a business. It's way better." Yeah, I will say, well, here's how it goes. You can start a business tomorrow, or you could wait a few years and take a bunch of steps and do a bunch of hoops and jump through a bunch of obstacles and then start your charity.
Right.
What do you want to do?
Exactly.
Has anybody ever actually done that? Has anybody ever asked you?
That question, should have started a business or start a nonprofit? No, I get the other side of it. People come to me and say, what are the downfalls of a nonprofit? They never ask the starting process because admittedly, while I work with nonprofits, I'm not in the game of being your handholder, taking you through the steps. My job is to take, once I get involved with building sponsorships or planning events, the organization's there. Now it's my job, whether it's a first year event, to create awareness, develop excitement, energy around the cause. That's where I come in. It's not my job to name your nonprofit. It's not my job to name your boards. It's not my job to set up any grants or anything like that. Those are important, but that's not my area of expertise. So typically, like I said, when they come to me, they say, what are the downfalls of nonprofit? And the obvious one is working your tail off, working your time away with
For
little results for the first 2 to 3 years. It's very rare that a nonprofit will ever start and make a huge financial jump in the first 3 years.
well, that also being said, like too, like I feel like there might be a mindset around like even paying themselves or money going out. People are going to be put money out to other things instead of compensating what they're also worth and having the nonprofit. But that's where I think of their headspace might be a little different. They might struggle to actually, you know what I mean? Like pay
Yes,
themselves. But
it's exactly right. That's why your nonprofits and unfortunately many nonprofits fail because the not because of the organization, not because of the mission, because the plan to set the organization up was done wrong or rushed. And once it's in a bad shape, it's very hard to fix a nonprofit to get it back on a track of growth.
yeah, yeah, I could totally see that. Once the seed's been planted, it's like a weed. It might spread. And how do you get rid of the root cause? Okay, one of the things I also wanted to ask you was you've been a part of a group that failed. So tell me about that. How did that you answered that question about failure? Because one of the things about being successful is look where people have failed, look where the lessons are to learn from people's failure so that you don't do it yourself. That's a huge thing to grow ourselves and see, okay, this is where they're doing it wrong. Here's how I do it better.
The most wonderful aspect that we have as business owners, event planners, and basically humans is the ability to look behind us. We can see what other people have attempted. We can see where we've had it's the phrase of, oh, don't let your baby touch the stove. They're only going to touch it once.
Right?
And we know that. And unfortunately, the world today is so protected that the stove has bubble wrap on it, right? So
Not
they
my
don't let
house,
kids
but
get,
yes.
I don't mean it literally, but I'm saying
I know what
it's
you're saying, but yeah,
people are so
I let my kids get
adverse
hurt. I let my
to
kids
letting
scrape their
to
knees.
letting things happen that when you go out and you do this, they don't stop. But then the next biggest problem that people face in this issue is they don't take time to reflect. If you drive down the road and you get a flat tire because you hit a pothole, and you drive down the road the other way and you hit a pothole and you get a flat tire again, and you don't pay attention to what caused the flat tire, you're going to stay there. But as you're changing that flat tire, if you're mad and you're changing that flat tire and you're saying, I won't hit that pothole again, that's adjusting the situation. A lot of people, especially nonprofits, when they're looking at their events, it didn't work because, and they find a reason. They don't want to look inside and say, "Oh, maybe we misplanned. Maybe we didn't have our numbers in the right order. Maybe we focused on the wrong thing." Instead, it was, "Oh, Mr. Sampson was there and he's been our biggest donor and he didn't donate what he normally did, so we didn't know how to compensate." That's not how you get bigger. That's not how you get better. And you have to be able to reflect on that and say, okay, this year we failed because we come through. We look at different ideas.
So
When
you're saying like
there's a
they failed to hit their like you're talking about like they failed to hit their marks. That was part of the event that they wanted to raise so much
so
and they didn't hit their like
so
goal, or
so
the event
failure
itself just
so
flatlined.
failure in the event space and in nonprofits takes on whole different meaning than in in the outside world.
Right?
Nonprofits to nonprofit, they're all about budget and money, right? They could have the best event in the world. They could have everybody talking to them and saying, "Oh, this was the greatest event," yada yada. But they missed their goal by $2,000, and they're going to focus on that missing the goal of 2,000 as a failure
Oh,
instead of saying, "Oh, okay, we're on the right track. We were there. We had the right people in the room. Now we just need to adjust. Now we just need to maybe change how we present our sponsorships. Maybe change our format. Maybe the timeline was off. Let's adjust accordingly this way." And that changes from failure to success.
yes.
Most people, if you miss your goal by $2,000, but you still here, perfect example, goal of $100,000 and you hit 98,000. Most people
I'd be
would
happy.
be ecstatic.
I would be. But
A
like
lot of
that
nonprofit
close? That's an
a
A.
lot of nonprofits will focus on that 2,000.
But
In my
that's
book, I call it the squirrel net theory. And that's exactly where that comes in is they don't focus at what's in the room, they focus on what they lost. So that's a bad thing for them but unfortunately, that's the culture. That's the way it works in the
Well,
nonprofit and
so
the event
that
space.
reminds me. It's good to shoot for high goals, right? Shoot higher than you actually might get. So if you shoot for 80 and you hit 80, that's great. But what if you shoot for 100 and you land somewhere 80s and 90s of what you actually get? That's better. It's better to shoot high and fall short of 100 than it is shoot for 80 and hit 80 when you could have gotten better.
We encourage through the book and in my all my consultations working with it, I encourage my organizations that I work with for the 3 level tiers. The 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 base goal, the dream
Right.
goal, and the stretch goal.
Yes.
Your base goal is what you just said, your 80,000. That's what we want to hit.
Yeah.
Your dream goal, that's that's a difference. So in the past, your typical growth on a year should be 20%. And most people will stay in that first 2 or 3 years. It's about 20% growth each year. Your stretch goal should be about 36%. Now, the only way to do that is to build the program, build the sponsorships, do everything the right way. But it's really funny when somebody like myself, and there's several auctioneers across the country that do the same thing. When I walk on stage, put a little pressure on the crowd without them even knowing it. Because I know what your base goal is.
Yeah.
I know what your stretch goal is, and I know what your dream goal is. And I go up and I make a number in between the dream goal and the stretch goal is our goal.
Yeah.
The audience doesn't understand what we're doing, but take your number. You said 80,000. Your dream goal is 92,000, and your stretch goal is 104,000. So we walk out on stage and say, okay, guys, you've had a great time tonight. It's all fun. Our goal tonight is $93,475. And I just put that number out there.
Yeah.
But the event organizers in the back going, no, no, we only need 80. Trust me, we got you. I'm making sure you come in because it never fails. Regardless if I hit that 93,000, I'm going to blow through that 80,000
Right.
because people see it. And so you can always play. There's always word games that you can play, especially for us understanding it on stage. There's word games that we play at the very beginning.
Right.
Like one of the things several auctioneers will do,
You do
myself
a really
included.
good job at breaking the ice, getting the mood going, getting the crowd going right off the bat from the very jump start. It is fun. It's like, oh, we're in for a treat. This is how it's
Yeah,
gonna be.
and if organizations understand the flow of the night using an 80-20 rule, which most people know, 80% of your money is going to come from your fund of future, your special appeal, your cash ask, whatever your organization calls it. Only 20% participate in your live auction. So flip them around, do your fund of future first, make people get involved because they get excited over other people seeing it.
Yep.
When you get everybody in the room and the fund of future that is designed to get everybody involved, even throughout the book. And as I teach people, we talk about 520s of auctions. Another topic, another day, but you got to understand that the whole purpose of that ladder that we talk about
Yeah.
is moving them from the bottom to the top. And the very bottom ones are the most dangerous ones of any event. And the fund of future helps counter that if you do it first. So it's all in the way that you use your words.
I need to just hire you for my event.
Well, that's what we do. We sit down and we
I
work with
know.
consulting and
Well,
bring up different things on this.
here's what we're
So
gonna do. We're gonna make it a birthday party for me that's gonna fund an event in September. Not this because my birthday is Monday at this particular moment in time. But next year, we'll do a birthday party fundraiser for my event next year.
there you
All
go.
the
We'll
reason I
have to
was
get it
thinking
set
that
up.
is when I'm thinking, in my head, when you're talking about fundraising and future funding, and I need to do that, as like, I went, oh, I don't know if I could do that. And I was like, oh, I don't need to do all the work. I don't need to ask. That's why I hire you. So I don't have to be the one
Right. Hire a
planning
consultant.
everything and talking to everybody because I just want to show up. I just want to show up and the event just happens. I don't want,
As long as you're not the event director that, and I had this happen, I will not name the organization, but I will tell you exactly what happened. Never be satisfied with the amount of money in the room. Okay. You always have a way to grow.
Right.
The development director gave me the goal.
Yeah.
She said, our goal for tonight is $95,000.
Okay.
$95,000. That's the goal. Great. I walk on stage and I say, okay, our goal, and I can tell you the exact numbers because a lot of times I just throw random numbers up just for fun because I like
Yeah.
to make people laugh and I like to break people's when they say, wait, what number? Because if you give a $25,000 and 90,000, that's a round number.
Yeah.
Walk out and say, hey,
Oh, odd
our goal
number.
tonight is well, our goal is $104,378 because what that does is it tells people that you've actually thought about the number you need. It's a
Ah,
planned number.
it's
No,
not a
it's
rounded
not.
up.
It's a number that come out of my head as I was walking on stage. Nobody knows that, but that's how
So
it
did that
works.
coordinator freak out?
So anyway, here's how this happened. She said 95,000, and let me preface this. They had the wrong mindset to going in. They were having a party with a fundraiser attached instead of a fundraiser that was celebrated at the end. So they had a band coming, and we took the stage, started doing Fund the Future. Now they had done their live auction first, so I knew where I was. The live auction that night did $38,000. So I just had the balance of that to hit their goal. Okay. We started in on the Fund the Future. We broke $96,000 and she walked across the stage and there were still people giving money. And she walked across the stage, said, okay, we hit our goal. Let's get on to the dancing.
She left money
I
on the
promise you,
table.
in front of everybody and stopped. Now, I can promise you that there was probably still maybe $10,000 in the room based on the
Right.
level that she stopped. But her goal in her mind
Oh, so
was okay.
she had a mental ceiling that she could not
She had a
get
hard
through.
stop. She couldn't figure it out because she figured it like this. The people were coming to dance. The people were coming to socialize. So if we raised our goal, we did our job, let's move on to what they came for.
Yep. She
So
wasn't thinking
uh,
about what the actual Yep, yep,
so
yep.
it was a party with a fundraiser attached mindset. And the bad part about it is because of that, they had trained their buyers to be there for the party. All the
Okay.
attendees were there for the party.
So you're
Now, if they
saying
would have
they're
done
there for the auction. She thinks they're there for the dancing. She's like, okay, the money's here. We're good. Let's move on. And you're like, you're the party is to celebrate the fundraising, not the other way. And so you guys had it backwards. Now, I get that. So what I want to say is I have an event second Sunday in September, right? We talked about the second Sunday in September. It's a children business vendor fair. We had a conversation about this a couple weeks ago, which is why we're having this podcast today. We were going to talk about it. So the timeline is second weekend in September. If I wanted a fundraiser, I said my birthday because it's like a month out from the event, or right at a month out, or just slightly under. My birthday is August 25th. What That's too late in the season, isn't it, to fundraise? Or do I need to go back even like June, July? Is that what we're talking about? If
so
I want to fund the event that's in September?
so for your event, your goals are low for this year based on our
Yeah, but
conversation.
we're gonna do next
You
year.
could
I want it to grow each
you
year.
could
Like at
do
some point, I want it real big. Okay.
you could do the fundraising and work the sponsorships right now, knowing that you're going to have a low turnout, knowing that you're going to have smaller participation because of the time. The
I'm
ideal
thinking like
situation when
next
you're
year though. What if I did this like
right,
next year?
but to get to the example, you're using this year, and that's where you brought this up. Ideally, 6 months to 9 months out is your plan.
To have a like
As
to have a fundraising event 6 months to 9 months out.
that would be ideal because you can market it, you can get in front of more people, you can make things happen in advance. Last minute
Right.
planning for fundraising results in little funds raised.
So if I was doing 6 to 9 months out, then I'm paid for ads, I'm paid for marketing, I'm paid for flyers,
No,
I'm
no, there's
talking to
there's a
people.
there's a there's a guideline. There's fundraising guidelines. One of the platforms that I use that I recommend tremendously for nonprofits for their silent auctions and different things is Greater Giving and Event.gives. Both of those are my two favorite ones in the space. Both of them, well, I know Greater Giving does, and I think Event.gives has now updated theirs. Both of them have a planning guide
Yeah.
for nonprofits that's downloadable. And it's the little things. Yeah, you're marketing it out, but you're also spending months 6, 5, and 4 working on your sponsorships, securing your venue, securing your whatever. Now you're going into the 3, 2. These are your decorations. These are your night of event plans. Then you're the month out. Now you're talking about the logistics. Now we're getting the timeline down. Now we're setting up this. Then the night of the event, it turns into a production. Everything that you did between 6 months to now is now on show. It's now on for everybody to see, and they see it. And if your event goes off smoothly, nobody knows that you started 6 months ago.
Right.
The only thing they look at is, man, this was a fantastic event. I'm coming back next year. And that's the goal for any event.
Yes.
Unless you're doing a one-off event, that's the goal every time, is for somebody to come back next year to attend
What
and
is
bring
6 months
somebody.
out from September? So August, July, June, May,
Should be a,
April, March.
there you go.
That's 6 months out ish. That's like if it's 9 months out, it's literally the entire year. I would be
I
sitting.
have I have organizations literally that will do their event. See, here's the thing that most people don't understand, especially fundraising. Fundraising, if you have an auction or a fund of future involved, fundraising is the only part of the auction industry that starts over from zero as soon as the final sold call is said. Nobody knows. You can't tell me if we have an event tomorrow and it closes down, you can't tell me who's going to be in attendance next year, who's going to be ready to spend, what donations are going to come in, what sponsorships are going to be there. So every event starts at zero as soon as the doors close on that event.
Yeah.
Every fundraising event, every event's
Well,
the
it's not
same
a
way.
fundraising. My fundraise, like, okay, so I have my children business fair. So if I wanted to fund the children business fair, when am I doing that event? If I'm funding the event September 14th and I'm raising money for that, what date am I doing that
What
event
kind of
to also raise for the
what
event?
kind of what kind of event are you planning to do your fundraising for that event?
I don't know. I said a birthday party.
But see, that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
You
know.
can't, this is not one of these that you can throw a bunch of balloons up in the air and hope that helium fills up three
Right.
of them.
But I would
You
love to
have
do
to be
that
able
a month
you
out.
have to be able to make it. Fundraising for an event. Now, this is what I tell
Oh, right.
organizations.
Because you said it needs to be. So if I
A lot
had
of
an event in
organizations will do.
March to fund my event September,
No, no, no. If you were doing a fundraising gala
yeah.
and a golf tournament, then yes, you want those. One here feeds the other, and they keep going. It's a continual cycle. A lot of people miss that. They don't use their golf tournaments to showcase their gala, or their gala to showcase their golf tournaments, or whatever, their
Yeah,
trivia
that's a
nights or
perfect way to
whatever.
do that.
So you do it. Now for you, your children's business fair is vendors.
Yes.
It's not it's not per se a fundraising event.
Sponsorship
So
is different.
right. So when you're talking about an event to fund that,
Yes.
the event to fund that needs to be within 2 months.
Okay.
So
Okay,
so
that's
you're
easier. Okay, so that's sponsorship because we were talking about charity and fundraising, which you will clearly define. They're not the same thing as sponsorship. Sponsorship, let's go. Tell me about your sponsorship because I know you have a lot to say about sponsorship. I know it's in your book. I know you have expertise in all of this stuff. So tell me
so
about.
the spot so sponsorships are not and should not ever, 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 and multiply ever by about 1.5 million infinite,
Okay.
should never be cookie cutter. And that's what the
Yep.
problem is. 90% of what we do in sponsorships today is way different than even 5 years, 10 years ago. The packages that were done 10 years ago are non-existent today to businesses. Businesses do not want splash logos. They don't care. I can splash a logo thanks to social media. I can splash a logo anywhere I want,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
They don't want to have to do work to be part of your sponsorship. They don't want other outside commitments. They want to be able to choose what works for them.
Yep.
And if you can't get past the idea of allowing somebody to choose, your sponsorships come up dry because everybody follows the same principles. Most, not everybody, but some follow the same principles. They print out a sheet. Here's the levels we're asking for. Here's what you get. Mr. Business, Mrs. Business, tell me which one of these works for you. And they leave. And then they come back and they say, oh, great. Which one did you choose? Oh, well, we're just going to do the whatever one, maybe. Why? Because you didn't take time to figure out what the business wants. Spot event planners, nonprofit galas, event planners, directors, they look at the bottom line. I need $10,000 to get this event. But what they don't realize is I can do way more damage to hit that 10,000 in smaller numbers and better opportunities than hoping I get one or two 10,000 or two 5,000s.
Right. Okay,
And a
so
lot of a
so
lot
if
of
we
groups will
have
focus on that.
we talked about a la carte. So you have your low, medium, high level. Let's just go low, medium, high, and then they have an a la carte. Okay, in here's 10 options. Pick your top six. Check six that you want. Okay, and then you move on, and then what? You get 12 options. You get 13 options for mid level. You could pick eight. Let's say we're just going
Yeah.
with even number because I like name, all right? And so on and so forth. So if you're top level, you here's a list of 15, you get to pick 10 of them and you check mark them off. The problem with I was just thinking the only downside is that if I was a person at the top, if you just go, okay, this company picked A, this company picked B, and this company picked C, but then you're like, oh, but they checked off these. You have to make sure that when that you do each of the check marks, they're not just like, okay, everybody in this category gets all of these things. No, because they have a check mark. They only get the check mark stuff.
Right. So what's the
So
problem?
the problem is
So what's the
like,
problem?
okay, so I feel like that I am catering, boutiquing to each person at that point.
So here's the thing. Remember we talked in the conversation and I told you, yes, you want the a la carte list.
Right, I get it.
A, B, C. Everything in A, everything in B, everything in C. Right? You're not changing anything. If they choose the
Right.
top level, they're going to get what you've standardized because there's still a standardization. It's just which ones do we use? Hey, for this level, I'm giving you these options. For this level, I'm giving you these options. We'll create a package based on this. Now, if you move up to the next level, I'm going to let you create an option here based on this, and I'm going to let you add this one. So you add two from this column to what I give you here. You add three. So you're building you're building a congruent level across,
Yeah.
and it doesn't come out more work to you because remember, we're controlling what they say because we built the list. We're not allowing them to throw something in that's not on our list. We already know how we're going to do it. If somebody wants a 5-minute video, great, got you covered. Hey, you know what? I got 3 people that are doing 5-minute videos. We're going to do videos on this day.
Yeah, but okay, so say they bought C, and some of the people bought C package want a video. Some of the people who bought the C package don't want the video. I'd have to make sure that I know what each person checked off that they wanted when I
And it's not a problem.
follow up.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. And especially for somebody like you who's detail oriented, you're going to write it down. You're just
Well,
going to put
I'd
that
want
in.
it in a Google sheet so that it's like easily done and they fill it out
Yeah, but
themselves, and I just have to look on the Google sheet. I would look on the Google sheet and say, okay, here's what I need
and
it to
you're
be
and you're
automated. I
just going
can't
to
do myself. I don't want to do myself.
and you can do it automated. You can make it say, here's click on this. This is what it's going to do. Okay. And you're going to put to-do list on it. Okay, great. Mark's getting Mark's getting the video, Sarah's getting the video, and John's getting the video. Hey, Mark, what day works for you? Great. Hey, Sarah, we're doing videos on this day. Can that work for you? Great. Now I'm going to schedule all of them. I may have to go to their locations, but great. That's a day. I'm scheduling it. Done. Okay. I'm doing everything that I have to do for those individuals on the same day at the same time. So it actually makes it easier on you. Okay, great. I've got a checklist that says if somebody's a sponsor, regardless of the level, I've got to have their logo.
Yep.
Well, I can send out a group email,
Yep.
personalized email, and say, hey, thank you for the sponsorship. Just as a reminder, in order for us to fulfill your sponsorships, we need your logo.
Yep.
That's everybody at one time. I just filled every logo I had.
Oh, you could do that in Google form. I could have them
Right.
upload it so it's already just there,
Right.
already passed.
So even though we want to build and be customized with the a la cartes list, we're still controlling it. We're
Right?
still controlling the options. I'm not letting them come in and say, oh, for this amount, I want my name in the middle of cookies. No, that's not a list. We'll have
Right, right,
somebody.
right. It's
Now,
what we're really, yeah, what we want to do. Okay, this is
now,
what we're
now
doing to
let
this person. This is what we're doing for that.
the
This
little
category and
caveat
this
to the
category.
the little caveat to that. If
Yeah.
somebody wants to be on that level and they said, hey, I want my name to be in the cookies, and they're the cookie maker, I'm probably going to let them do it.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I'm good with that. Great. I'll put all your cookies out on the table. You put your logo on it, but it's still part of this program.
Well, yeah. Speaking of that, I love that. So when I've had people like I had somebody design a flyer for me, and I'm like, okay, you're part of this group. You're part of RAD networking. You created a RAD flyer. You have to have your logo on here because you literally were the designer. Like when you design for somebody else, you hand it off, they pay you, and that's you don't get to put your logo on it. But when you were making a flyer for me and you are in it, yes, you better put your stuff everywhere. You better, you know, it better be right front and center if you contributed to making this happen.
It
Like
should be, but don't force it. Some
no, I
people
know,
don't
but I was
want their
like, hey,
logo
you
on it.
should have your logo on there. Oh, right. Because I'm like, I'm not like a
Right.
regular client. If I was a regular client, I don't want your name on it. Like I
Right.
bought it. We're
So,
said and done. You're a
yep. So,
member. I want your flyer. I want your logo on my on all the stuff. That it's basically like you're a sponsor. That's how I treat
right.
it. Like
Exactly.
you do stuff for me, you better put your name on stuff. Like you're basically a sponsor if you designed it for me.
Right. Exactly. And but there's some people that get hung up on that, and you just got to understand that it works to come in. So we're looking at it to see how, my goal when I work with organizations is I do not want cookie cutter, period.
Right.
And I also have a theory that I believe in, that everything in your room or in your event should be sponsorable. If not, let's ask why.
Yeah, like
Everything
chairs,
should be sponsored.
flyers, food, marketing,
AV,
AV,
speakers,
speaker. Yeah.
stage, reception, just to name a couple, your bar, your everything can be sponsored. Everything. I've had people literally sponsor the cream
Yeah.
in a coffee bar. We sold 5 sponsorships: the coffee bar, the cream, the cups, and the napkins in the coffee bar.
Okay, I love this idea. Make every single thing. Hey, I just need somebody to buy this. Hey, I just need. It's like people don't always know what to give. Like they don't always want to give money. It's just like giving money for presents. Some people love giving money for presents. Some people want like they want to know what you want. Give me an idea. So this is like that. Okay, I need somebody to buy the goodie bag. I need somebody to buy the cream. I need somebody to buy the tape. I need somebody to buy the
No, you don't. No,
post-its.
no, 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 no.
No?
You don't say it like that. You don't say it like that, because when you say I need,
Okay.
the the person that you're responding to says I'm out.
Gotcha.
The question is, we have an opportunity at this event for multiple sponsorships. These are the things that can be sponsored. Is there one that particularly stands out and interests you? See the difference in the conversation?
Oh, that's a big
Because
difference. That's not
because
just
now I can look at them and say, hey, and here's the thing. If if I give them a list and say, here's what's available, and they say, hey, I want to sponsor the AV, and the AV's already sponsored, but it's $2,500 sponsorship, I'm going to make something else up. $2,500. You know what? $2,500. We're going to have you be the red carpet sponsor,
there you go.
right? You can come up with anything. So don't limit yourself how many you sell, how many are available. You can make anything available. You
I
just
was
got to
thinking
do it. And it's
bags.
all
Oh, we could use a sponsorship for here's a list of things. We even have bags on here. You can put your own logo on it if you want. You want to add swag to the bag. You
don't
could fill the
encourage them.
bags. Fill the
Don't
bags.
encourage, don't encourage. And this is one of the biggest hangups that organizations and events do. They get hung up on swag. think about this, and this is very serious when I say this, and I have friends, and I have a lot of friends that are in the promotions industry,
Yeah.
and they'll tell you, you need to have your promotions, you need to have this. However, when you sponsor an event, the swag that goes to the event never makes it home. Most of the time, they either get left on the table or they get thrown away as they get to their car.
Because it's a bunch of
Unless
knickknacks. It's a bunch of
it's
random
it's
crap.
typically it's typically repetition. Pens, stress balls, whatever. It's stuff that people have. I can go to my closet right now, my cabinet in my house, because I'm an auctioneer and I do all these events, and all the events want me to have this, hey, if there's something there they want me to take it home, I can go back and probably tell you where I got each one of the events over 15 years because it's the same thing.
Right?
So don't get hung up on telling people, hey, we want to put you on swag, because swag has lost its ability.
Yes.
Let them
It
handle their
becomes a
own
bunch, it's
swag when they're
like
dealing with
birthday
events.
parties, like kids' birthday parties, and you get all the cheapy, real super cheapy, gross junk that the parents are like, hey, now I gotta throw that crap away when it comes home. Oh.
Right.
Same
But
thing. Same thing.
it's the same thing. So you got to be, even though I say everything can be sponsored, you have to be careful that you don't become a NASCAR event, unless, of course, you're throwing a NASCAR event. I mean, that's the way it works. People don't want to be sold every step that they walk in place.
Is that what happens at
And
a NASCAR event?
look at a NASCAR.
It's covered.
All
Yeah.
exactly. And they just sponsors. The main sponsor, and then if you look at even the drivers have it all up and down their suit of who sponsors them or who's paid them, or whatever, who's paid them to wreck. I guess I don't know, but there's I always think the ones that wear the auto body, that's the ones I laugh at, because I think they got paid to wreck. So you know, but unless you're doing that, you don't want so much logo splash
Yeah.
that it makes your event cheap.
Yeah.
More, even though you get more sponsors and more opportunities, more logos create cheapness.
It's like in a movie. Okay, so when movies are real subtle and it's not obvious that they're using a product, it works better than it's like they're obviously drinking this soda. Like that doesn't work. Like people are like they could tell that it's sponsored, and so they prefer when it's in the background and it's super subtle and you barely even know that it's there. Works so much better than
Right.
obviously somebody paid to have this product in the video in this movie. Can you tell? Right? You know what I'm
Remember,
talking about, right?
remember, remember, especially in nonprofits and in events space, the idea of the event is not the products.
Right.
The idea, especially nonprofits, your subject of your event is awareness. You should
Yes.
be doing whatever you can to build the awareness for your mission and for your vision of your profit than who your sponsors are. A lot of people, that's an uncommon statement. People don't like that. They say, well, I'm buying a sponsorship, I want to be seen. No, you don't. You're buying the sponsorship to support a cause that you're involved in.
Oh,
And
yes.
then when you support the cause, you now find like-minded people that are interested in the same cause, that now, because you provide a service, they're more willing to come to you. It's not a blanket throw out and get business. It's not the yellow pages.
It's not
It's not a
marketing. I mean, it's not marketing, but you're not paying an ad on Facebook. You're not paying
right,
for an ad.
exactly.
I mean,
You're
you are,
you're
but you're
you're you're
not.
I mean, it goes without saying that as a business owner, I'm not giving a sponsorship or donating or anything to an event or an organization that I don't align with.
Right?
So you're not doing it to get your name out there. You're doing it as a business owner, you are doing it to reach out to like-minded individuals to become top of mind when they need your service
Yes. That's a
or
great way to
product.
put it. That's perfect. Not the,
So,
oh, do it to be seen, do it to be heard. No, you're doing it because it aligns with you.
right,
That's
exactly.
perfect. Okay. Let me see. Is there anything else we need to do before we wrap up? I think we covered a few different things, and especially like you answering some things that I know other people would probably do that I did or thought about. So, what do you want to say before we jump off of here?
Sponsorships can be your friends or sponsorships can be your enemy. When you stress out over a sponsorship, it has become your enemy. When you use a sponsorship to create a foundation that you build upon year after year, not only do you have a friend, but you have a stable supporting network, and your sponsors need to be part of that.
Fantastic. I love that. Um, Alrighty. What else do I need to wrap up and I don't know what to say to wrap up other than what you said was fantastic. Oh, I guess we need to get a hold of you. I'll have all your stuff. I plan on posting this on YouTube and sharing it out. So I guess I'll have all the things in there. That's what people always say when they wrap up a
Yep.
podcast. Some people say,
Higher
well, that's
calling
the pod.
auctions.
What?
Higher calling auctions. You can find us at bidwithhca.com. My book will be coming out. It'll be called Sponsorship in Motion. And if you can't get a hold of me, get a hold of Amber, and she surely be able to share my information to you.
Yes.
And we go from there.
All right. When do you think your book's going to come out by chance?
Hopefully, the middle of October is
Middle
what
of
we're looking at
October.
now. It's right at
Fantastic.
the end of the year. So hopefully,
Did you buy my
it's
book?
it's it's in the publisher. It's in the publisher. I have a copy.
Do you?
So yeah, I have a copy. Um, every it's in the works to the publisher, so now it's all into their hands with the graphics and that stuff. Because
Fantastic.
while I made the book easy to read, I am a redneck and I can't draw, so I have to have them create the rest of it for me. So
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.